The dark expanse of space stretched endlessly around the Xylar command station. Thousands of alien vessels floated silently in orbit, their cold lights blinking against the black void. Inside the command hall, the Xylar Council gathered, faces twisted in tension and worry. For the first time in centuries, they had no answers. Commander Xylar paced the floor, his long fingers tapping the railing. Our sensors are picking something unusual. A ship has entered our sector, but we cannot identify it. It is unlike any of our designs. His voice trembled slightly, betraying the fear he tried to hide. A senior council member, Elder Virex, leaned forward. Impossible, he said sharply. No civilization outside the Outer Rim has the technology to breach our defenses so easily. Are you certain of the readings? Xylar nodded. We have double-checked. It is massive. Its energy signature. It moves differently than anything we know. Our scans fail to recognize its systems. The council murmured among themselves. Fear was spreading like wildfire. The Xylars had never faced an unknown enemy capable of slipping past their sensors. The thought alone was terrifying. Meanwhile, aboard the human battleship, Captain Marcus Kane observed the alien fleet on his screen. The humans had been traveling silently through space, keeping their presence hidden. Now, they were close enough to make contact, or make war. Marcus's calm demeanor contrasted sharply with the panic he knew the aliens must be feeling. Report, he said, voice firm but steady. Lieutenant Harper replied, sensors confirm multiple alien vessels in orbit. They are preparing to investigate the anomaly we created. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. Let them come. They will see nothing they understand. Back at the Xylar command station, communications officers frantically tried to send a message. A desperate call went out, a warning to all nearby fleets. Unknown vessel. High threat. Proceed with extreme caution. But even as the message echoed through the council chamber, a shadow of dread fell over the leaders. This vessel was not just a ship. It was a statement. A symbol of power beyond anything the Xylars had ever faced. Xylar's assistant, a young officer named Lyra, gasped as a live feed from the outer scanners displayed the first glimpse of the intruder. The hull of the ship gleamed with strange light, angular yet smooth, a perfect combination of strength and elegance. Weapon systems hummed faintly, ready to fire. Elder Virex stumbled back, clutching the edge of his console. It is colossal. How could a single ship be so advanced? Xylar felt a chill run down his spine. This is no ordinary civilization. They have surpassed us. Every prediction we made, wrong. In the human battleship's control room, the crew moved with quiet efficiency. Every hand, every action precise. The humans had trained for moments like this, when their strength would be revealed not through numbers but through strategy, speed, and precision. On the Xylar side, panic began to mount. The council debated sending attack fleets, but fear held them back. What if they underestimated the human ship? What if an offensive failed, leaving them exposed? Lyra turned to Xylar, eyes wide. Commander, they are activating something. The ship's energy, it is building up. Xylar's heart pounded. Shields at full power. Alert all units. Prepare for engagement, but cautiously. Do not act rashly. The alien commanders tried to organize. Scout ships were sent to probe the human vessel, but the humans anticipated every move. Within moments, the scouts were disabled, torn apart by energy pulses precise beyond imagination. The council gasped in horror. Xylar slammed his fist on the console. They are not even trying to hide their power. This is a deliberate warning. From deep within the human battleship, Marcus leaned back in his chair. He observed the chaos with quiet satisfaction. They think they are in control, he murmured, but they have not seen the full extent of our capabilities. In the council chamber, Elder Virex whispered, almost to himself, if this is the strength of a single vessel, what hope do we have? And at that moment, the Xylars understood something they could never unsee. Their defenses, their fleets, their strategies, all were vulnerable. The unknown entity before them was not just a threat. It was a force capable of redefining the rules of war in the galaxy. The desperate call had been sent, the warning broadcast. But for the Xylars, The true realization came only as a human battleship appeared fully on the sensors, a monstrous silhouette against the stars. In that instant, the Council knew survival required more than courage. It would require miracles. A low hum resonated through the command hall as the human ship's energy signature stabilized, glowing brighter, almost alive. Every officer present felt the weight of what was coming. The galaxy was about to witness something extraordinary, and the Xylars, proud, powerful, and ancient, were only just beginning to understand the storm that had arrived in their sector. As the council members scrambled for strategies, the camera cut back to the human battleship. Its engines glowed, ready. Its weapon systems were online, and its captain, calm and resolute, prepared to deliver a message the Xylars would never forget. The desperate call had been made, but would anyone answer in time? The human battleship moved silently through the void, a massive silhouette against the faint starlight. Its hull shimmered, a mixture of metal and energy that defied the scanners of the Xylar fleet. Inside the ship, Captain Marcus Kane stood at the command console, his eyes scanning every display. Every alien movement was anticipated before it even happened. Lieutenant Harper, status report. Marcus said calmly. Sir, Harper replied, fingers flying over controls. Xylar scouts are approaching. They're sending small attack drones to probe us. But their technology is primitive compared to ours. Marcus smiled faintly. Let's show them why they shouldn't have come. Outside, the Xylar fleet hesitated. Commander Zather's hands trembled as he ordered his scouts forward. Engage cautiously. Do not underestimate it. The first wave of scouts appeared, tiny specks in the vastness of space. But the human ship's sensors were already tracking them, predicting every trajectory. Without a single word from Marcus, the humans acted. Energy pulses shot from the ship, precise, controlled, devastating. One by one, the scouts were torn apart. Some disintegrated before the Xylars could even see the beams. Zather's eyes widened in disbelief. Impossible. They destroyed them before our scanners even locked on. Elder Virex covered his mouth in horror. This is not war. This is annihilation. The Xylar fleet faltered. Their ships hovered uncertainly, unsure whether to attack or retreat. Panic rippled through the command station. For the first time in centuries, the Xylars felt fear, true, bone-deep fear. Inside the human battleship, the crew worked in perfect synchrony. Their movements were smooth, efficient, almost effortless. Weapon systems hummed, shields pulsed with energy, and the ship itself seemed alive. Marcus watched the alien ships, noting their hesitation. Humans had studied the Xylars' tactics for years. Every predictable maneuver was anticipated, every weakness exploited. Sir, Lieutenant Harper said, pointing at a display, their main fleet is moving in formation. They might be trying to encircle us. Marcus's eyes narrowed. Let them try. He pressed a button, and a series of holographic diagrams lit up the bridge. Deploy the decoys. Initiate countermaneuvers Alpha and Delta. Remember, speed and precision. We fight smarter, not harder. Outside, the human ship moved with uncanny speed, weaving between the alien vessels like a predator among prey. Energy beams lanced out, targeting weapon systems, disabling engines, and leaving ships adrift. The Xylars scrambled to react, but every move was anticipated. Every tactic countered before it could take effect. Commander Zather's voice shook as he spoke over the comms. All units, hold formation. Focus fire on that vessel. But it was already too late. The humans were everywhere at once. Their attacks synchronized and deadly. Ships that fired upon them were immediately crippled. Their energy cores ruptured in blinding flashes. Others drifted, powerless, as the human battleship effortlessly dodged and countered. Elder Virex could only stare at the screens, disbelief written on his face. They are not even trying to hide their strength. How is this possible? Zather's palms pressed against the console. They are not just fighting. They are teaching us a lesson. From the bridge of the human ship, Marcus observed the chaos below. He saw the fear in the alien fleet, the hesitation, the uncertainty. Humans did not need to destroy every vessel. Just demonstrating their overwhelming power was enough to shatter the Xylar's confidence. "Lieutenant," Marcus said softly, "send a warning message. Let them know what's coming. Sometimes fear is the greatest weapon." Harper nodded. A message was broadcast across the sector. "Surrender or face complete destruction. Humanity does not negotiate with those who threaten peace." The Xylar fleet froze as the words reached them. For the first time, they realized this was not a bluff. The human ship's destruction capability was unlike anything they had encountered. Every calculation they had made about strength, numbers, and tactics was now irrelevant. In the command hall, the council erupted in debate. Some urged immediate counterattack, believing boldness could save them. Others suggested retreat, acknowledging that survival required caution. But fear had already taken root. Even the bravest commanders hesitated. "Sir," Lyra whispered, turning to Xathar, they are too fast, too strong. We cannot compete." Xathar's jaw tightened. "Then we must survive until we understand them. That is all we can do." Meanwhile, the humans were preparing for the next move. The alien ships had revealed their formations, their weaknesses, their panic. Marcus and his crew used this knowledge to position the human battleship perfectly. From a distance, the Xylars could only watch as the humans' precision attacks dismantled their fleet without mercy. The alien pilots felt a mixture of terror and awe. They had trained for wars, for battles that would decide the fate of galaxies. Yet here before them was a force they could not predict, could not understand, could not beat. One alien commander, struggling to maintain control, shouted, "Focus fire! We cannot allow this ship to remain." But his own officers hesitated, their faith in their weapons shattered. Every attack was countered with ease, every maneuver anticipated. The humans moved like a single organism, their coordination flawless, almost inhuman. Marcus watched, eyes cold and calculating. "They will learn quickly," he murmured, "but only if we let them." And then a new display appeared on the human bridge. Energy readings spiked, showing the Xylar fleet concentrating power in one massive vessel, their flagship. Marcus studied the ship's movements. It was trying to coordinate a decisive strike, but the humans were ready. "Prepare the intercept," he said. "We don't need to destroy them all yet, just enough to show the cost of defiance." The human ship surged forward, weaving through space with terrifying speed. Its weapons fired in perfect synchronization, striking the alien flagship's engines and weapon systems. The vessel shuddered, sparks and debris floating into space. The Xylar officers inside screamed in panic, unable to comprehend how a single ship could cause such devastation. Elder Virex fell back from his console, muttering, This is beyond comprehension. Their power cannot be matched." Even as the aliens attempted to regroup, the humans maintained their pressure. Every attempt to escape, every strategy to attack, was nullified before it could take effect. The human battleship seemed everywhere at once, unstoppable, inevitable. Marcus allowed himself a brief glance at his crew. They were calm, confident, experienced. Each one knew their role perfectly, moving like the gears of a finely tuned machine. This was not just technology. It was skill, strategy, and discipline combined into a force that could topple empires. Back at the Xylar command station, Xathar's voice was barely audible over the alarms. We are losing control. Every move we make is countered. Every plan fails." Lyra's hand shook as she added, They're showing us the future of war." And in that moment, the council understood the truth. The humans were not just another civilization. They were something entirely different. Their strategy, technology, and precision made them more than a threat. They made them a revelation. The Xylar fleet faltered, the weight of fear pressing down on every officer. The humans' message was clear. Resistance was futile. Survival required submission, understanding, or death. Marcus watched the alien fleet retreat, their formations broken, their confidence shattered. The humans had achieved their goal without annihilating every ship. Fear alone had done most of the work. "Set course for the next sector," Marcus said quietly. "We are only beginning." The camera shifted to the Xylar Council, faces pale, hands trembling. For the first time, the galaxy had seen humanity's true strength, and the shock had only just begun. The shattered remnants of the Xylar fleet drifted silently in the void. Smoke and sparks floated between the stars like ghostly fireflies. Inside the remaining command stations, fear hung thick as a fog. Every officer knew that what they had witnessed was beyond their understanding. Commander Xylar leaned over the main console, his claws gripping the cold metal. "Report," he demanded, voice shaking. Lyra, still pale, spoke quickly. "Sir, sensors confirm one vessel is intact, fully operational. Their main ship, it remains unscathed. And it's moving closer to the heart of our sector." Elder Virex's antennae twitched nervously. Impossible. How can a single ship have destroyed our scouts, crippled our fleet, and remain untouched? Every calculation we made wrong. Through the viewing ports, the officer saw it, the human battleship. It was massive, far larger than any Xylar design. Its hull shimmered like liquid metal, reflecting the distant stars in distorted waves. Strange energy patterns pulsed along its surface, shifting with impossible speed. They are beautiful," whispered one young officer, unable to hide her awe. Xylar's claws slammed onto the console. "This is not beauty. This is a weapon, and it's unlike anything we have ever encountered." From a bridge of the human battleship, Captain Marcus Kane stood motionless, surveying the alien sector. There was no anger in his eyes, no hatred, only clarity, patience, and calculation. This was not a battle for pride. It was a message, a warning delivered with absolute precision. "Lieutenant Harper," Marcus said, voice calm, "prepare the tactical array. We're going to demonstrate what they cannot ignore. Start with non-lethal targeting. Let them see what true power looks like without total destruction." Harper's fingers danced over the console. Tactical array ready. Targeting subsystems and propulsion cores for maximum effect. The human ship shifted, almost gracefully, closer to the center of the Xylar sector. Its weapons hummed softly, each pulse precise, yet deadly. The remaining Xylar ships scrambled to respond, firing beams and projectiles with panic-driven urgency. But every attack failed. Every energy pulse was intercepted, absorbed, or redirected. The humans moved like a living organism, their coordination flawless, their timing perfect. One by one, alien vessels faltered, engines failing, shields collapsing, weapon systems sparking and short-circuiting. On the Xylar command station, panic became hysteria. Xylar could not believe what he was seeing. They are everywhere at once. How is this possible? Every fleet maneuver we planned, predicted, and countered. Lyra's antennae twitched rapidly. "Sir, it's like they're not just reacting. They are anticipating. Every step we take, they already know." Elder Virex whispered, voice trembling. They are not ordinary beings. They are evolution perfected. The very rules of war changed. The human battleship's energy fields flared, bright and almost alive. The Xylar sensors could barely keep up, unable to understand the technology behind it. It was more than weapons. It was an intelligent system, adaptive and unrelenting. Inside the human ship, Marcus activated a holographic display. It mapped the Xylar fleet's every movement, showing weak points, energy surges, and vulnerabilities. He did not need to guess. He had predicted every possible action they could take, and prepared countermeasures for each. "Target their flagship," Marcus said. "We don't need to destroy it. Just show them what happens when a civilization underestimates humanity." Outside, the flagship's massive weapons glowed as it attempted a final strike. Energy beams arced across space, crashing into the human ship, but the humans anticipated the attack. Shields redirected the energy harmlessly, and counterpulses disabled the alien weapons almost instantly. The flagship shuddered, sparks flying across its hull. Alien pilots screamed over comms, panicked and confused. Their systems were failing, their tactics useless. It was as if the humans could read their minds, predicting fear before it even manifested. One officer cried, We cannot win. They know everything." Xylar's claws shook as he hit the console repeatedly. "Order retreat. Fall back to secondary positions. We cannot allow annihilation." But retreat was chaos. The remaining ships moved without coordination, engines failing, weapons offline, panic spreading. The humans did not pursue. They did not need to. The demonstration alone was enough. From the human ship, Marcus observed. "Let them understand," he murmured. "Knowledge of our strength is more effective than destruction. Fear is a teacher." A low hum resonated through the Xylar command station as energy spikes from human ship systems illuminated the void. Every officer present felt it. The raw power, the intelligence, the perfection of a civilization unlike any they had faced. Elder Virex muttered, almost himself, "If this is one ship, one vessel, what force lies beyond? How many more of these exist?" Zathar's eyes narrowed. "We underestimated them. Entirely. Humanity is beyond comprehension." The human battleship slowly moved through the sector, surveying every ship, every weapon, every system. They did not destroy everything. They did not need to. The message had been sent. Resistance was futile. Adaptation or annihilation, that was a choice. Lyra whispered, "Sir, they are merciful. They could have destroyed all of us. Yet they choose restraint." Zathar clenched his jaw. "Restraint? No, this is strategy. They're showing us exactly how powerless we are." Marcus allowed himself a brief glance at his crew. They remained calm, professional, and precise. The humans did not fight out of anger or revenge. They fought with intelligence, preparation, and discipline. That was their true power, their ability to remain controlled, to strike exactly when needed, and to demonstrate superiority without unnecessary waste. On the Xylar command station, alarms blared. The energy readings from a human ship were unlike anything ever recorded. Its shields were adaptive, its weapons autonomous, and its systems intelligent. Even the most advanced Xylar AI could not match it. A young officer turned to Zathar, voice trembling. "Commander, they are teaching us a lesson we may not survive. We have never faced this level of force." Zathar swallowed hard. "Then we survive. We must survive. Only then can we learn. Only then can we hope to understand them." Outside, the human battleship's energy signature pulsed like a heartbeat across the stars. It was calm, yet terrifying. Every flicker of light, every pulse of energy was a reminder that humanity was not just a new force. It was a revelation. The Xylar officers watched helplessly as their fleet disintegrated before their eyes, not completely destroyed, but shattered in spirit, structure, and confidence. Every hope of retaliation, every plan, every strategy had failed. And in that moment, the Xylars understood the truth they could never unsee. Humanity was not just powerful. Humanity was inevitable. Captain Marcus Kane turned from the viewports, calm and resolute. "Prepare for the next phase," he said quietly. "They must understand fully before the next demonstration." The council chamber on the Xylar station remained silent, officers frozen in fear and awe. The galaxy had shifted in an instant. Humanity had revealed its might, and the Xylars were only beginning to comprehend the storm that had arrived. The void was silent. Stars twinkled coldly, as if indifferent to the chaos that had unfolded. The Xylar fleet, once proud and unyielding, now floated broken and scattered across the sector. Smoke drifted from damaged hulls. Warning lights flickered across shattered consoles, and the air inside command stations was thick with disbelief and fear. Commander Zathar stared at the main viewport, watching the human battleship retreat slowly into the distance. Its massive hull glowed faintly, pulsing with energy as if alive. He could not bring himself to move. His claws pressed against the railing until the metal creaked. It is gone. But what did we just face? Lyra's antennae twitched nervously. "Sir, they could have destroyed all of us. Every fleet, every station. But they didn't. They showed mercy. Or something like it." Elder Virex's voice was barely a whisper. "Mercy? No, this is strategy. They want us to understand, to learn, to fear the consequences of defiance." Across the remaining fleet, officers murmured in disbelief. Ships drifted aimlessly, engines offline, communications jammed, morale shattered. The Xylars were survivors, not victors. They had seen the might of a human battleship, an unmatched force of strategy, technology, and intelligence, and they had lived to tell the story. But survival felt hollow, haunted by the certainty that this was only the beginning. On the human battleship, Captain Marcus Kane observed the retreating alien fleet. His expression was calm, almost serene. The humans had accomplished exactly what they intended. There had been no unnecessary slaughter, only the demonstration of power, a lesson in precision, control, and inevitability. Lieutenant Harper, Marcus said quietly, record all data from this engagement. Every reaction, every movement, every failed attack. They must understand why we are unmatched. Harper nodded, fingers moving quickly across the console. All sensors are recording, Captain. Every fleet maneuver, every ship's response stored and analyzed. The humans had prepared for centuries for moments like this. Every prediction, every simulation, every strategy had been tested in the human mind. Now, the results were clear. The Xylars will remember this day, not for victory, but for the revelation of what lay beyond their comprehension. Meanwhile, on the Xylar command station, panic slowly gave way to shock and contemplation. Xathar's hands trembled as he addressed the remaining officers. Gather the survivors. Return to secondary sectors. Inform the High Council what we have just faced. Humanity is not merely a threat. They are something else. Lyra swallowed hard. Commander, what happens now? Do we rebuild? Do we resist? Xathar's jaw tightened. We survive. That is all. Resistance will only bring annihilation. Adaptation may give us a chance. But we must be honest with ourselves. The galaxy has changed. Humanity has arrived. Outside, the human battleship maintained a steady course, drifting to the stars like a sentinel. Its crew worked quietly, efficiently, and with the calm assurance that they had not yet revealed their full potential. A young officer aboard the human ship asked, Captain, did we push them too hard? Marcus shook his head. No, they needed to see, to understand the consequences. Fear is not cruelty, it is clarity. They will remember this lesson for generations. And when they face us again, they will be wiser or they will be gone. Back at the Xylar fleet, news of the encounter spread quickly. Every sector, every station, every fleet commander learned of the humans' precision and power. Rumors spread, stories exaggerated. The fear grew exponentially. Humanity had entered the galaxy not merely as another civilization, but as a force that challenged the very understanding of war. Some Xylar leaders refused to believe it. Surely one ship cannot represent an entire species, one officer said, shaking his head. We are still powerful. We still have numbers. We can strike back. But the memory of the battle lingered in every mind. Ships destroyed before they could respond. Tactics predicted before they were enacted. Strategy and strength combined into a single entity that made even the most advanced civilization question its own supremacy. Lyra approached Xathar, her voice barely audible. Sir, if they return, what hope do we have? Xathar closed his eyes, taking a deep breath. Hope lies only in understanding. We must learn from what we witnessed. Humanity is not to be underestimated. They are inevitable, and we must adapt or perish. Meanwhile, Captain Marcus and his crew observed the sector one last time. Every detail, every sensor reading, every reaction from the Xylars had been logged. Their objective was complete. The galaxy now knew that humanity had arrived, not just to survive, but a command to dominate and to redefine the rules of engagement. The human battleship then activated its engines fully, moving silently, efficiently, and deliberately into the uncharted regions of space. The Xylars had only watched from afar, powerless, fearful, and awestruck. In the following days, reports came from every sector. Aliens spoke of the humans in hushed tones. Fear and awe intertwined. Some plotted retaliation, but none dared act without certainty. One simple truth was recognized by all. Humanity was not merely another species. They were a revelation, a force of nature that had rewritten the rules of the galaxy. On the human ship, Marcus stood at the viewing deck, looking at the stars stretching endlessly ahead. This is only the beginning, he said softly. They have seen our strength, and now they will decide, survive or learn too late. The crew remained silent, absorbing the gravity of the moment. They were calm, precise, and confident, trained to face any challenge. Yet even they knew the galaxy had changed forever. The Xylars, once proud and untouchable, now understood the cost of underestimating humanity. Back on the Xylar command station, Xathar turned to his council. We have survived today, but the cost is clear. Humanity is not a civilization to fight blindly. We must rethink everything. Technology, strategy, alliances. Every step we take from now on will be in the shadow of what we have witnessed. Elder Virex added, voice trembling. And yet in their mercy, there is a warning. They do not destroy for pleasure. They destroy only when necessary. They give us a chance, but only if we choose wisely. The council members nodded, the weight of responsibility heavy on their shoulders. The galaxy had changed in a single encounter. The humans had demonstrated power, control, and intelligence beyond comprehension. The Xylars would live, but they would never be the same. And in the depths of space, the human battleship continued its journey. Calm, precise, unstoppable. Its crew knew that the next encounter would come, and when it did, humanity would be ready, not just to fight, but to shape the course of the galaxy itself. The void stretched endlessly before them, silent, cold, and infinite, yet within it, a new force had risen, a force that aliens would fear, respect, and never forget. Humanity had revealed its presence, and the galaxy will remember the day they witnessed the full scope of human power.